The second half of our Nebraska golf adventure takes us to the town of Kearney, Nebraska, located about the halfway point when traveling across the state by way of Interstate 80. Kearney is home to Awarri Dunes, a Jim Eng course design. I was warned his design style is not for everyone, but as far as we were concerned, the course at Awarri Dunes is a true masterpiece. The huge rolling terrain of the sandhill regions is something you will not find here in Kearney. Nope, here you'll just find the flat as a pancake, traditional Nebraska lands, just like you would expect in Nebraska. Then suddenly, just south of town, the landscape once again becomes a rumpled mess of golf nirvana. The GM, Jeff Perdue, gave us a full rundown of Awarri and wished us luck as we ventured off for our afternoon round in some pretty strong winds. Soon into the round, it became clear why Eng had such controversy in his designs. The course is in no way subtle. The greens are diabolical in nature with huge elevation drops and giant swales everywhere. The thing that most appealed to me was the course had a sense of belonging to its native environment. The sweeping fairways and greens perfectly matched the wind-swept landscape of this area. In fact, without the wind, the course would feel out of place. But here it felt like the course draped perfectly on the ground, almost as if no dirt was moved at all, which is obviously not the case. To me, this is the mark of a great architect, to have the course appear natural as opposed to forced. Just look at these photos and see how the ribbon-type greens blend seamlessly with the surroundings. Some of the greens offer multiple options on your approach to attack the pins. This kind of shaping and design are certainly fun and offer golfers of different swing abilities a chance to skin the cat how they like instead of being forced into only one type of shot. It's this type of thoughtful design that will have me searching out more Jim Eng designs to play. Don't pass on Awarri Dunes if you get the chance. It's a worthy challenge for any golfer and its price is incredibly cheap. Conditions were also superb with greens in the 10 to 11 stimp zone, but that could be due to the wind.
Pin high! Hit it right at me, Mike. It'll come right back to it.
The course originally opened as a private club, but economic times caused it to turn public a few years ago. This is great news for anyone looking to take a Nebraska golf adventure. After a long day of golf, it was off to the pub for drinks and some live music to wind down. We wanted to see how the people in the Midwest partied, and we weren't disappointed. Great live music, some pool, and a game of darts, followed by chatting up the locals, brought us to the end of a full and exhausting day. We headed to our well-appointed Airbnb for a night's rest, and of course, I had to hit the hot tub. The next morning, we continued west down I-80 to the little town of Gothenburg in the Wildhorse Golf Club. Wildhorse is a public golf course that's rated by Golfweek magazine as one of the top 100 you can play in the U.S. It was designed by Dave Axland and Dan Proctor, the same team that shaped the greens and fairways at the famous Sandhill Club just up the road. The locals all helped in its construction, and the town had a real connection to this place. Everyone in town wanted to be a part of this golf course. It feels like you are home when you arrive at Wildhorse. The course is gentle in nature and never really shocks you with the design. This does not mean, however, that it's not challenging. It just means the beauty is more subtle rather than ostentatious. The course conditions were superb, with greens running a solid 9 to 10 on the stimp. The pace of play is brisk as they try and keep you moving because demand for the course is high, being literally just off the interstate. Not to worry though, we never heard a single car or truck during our round. The land is peaceful and serene, and as anyone who's played here can attest to, as with all the courses we visited, it's a must play if you find yourself in this area. We tried to get a second round in at Wildhorse, but the tee sheet was packed. We decided to head back to North Platte and try one of the local munis and see what the local fare was like. IronEagle, designed by Patrick Weiss, is a shorter course along the North Platte River, which at first glance might not inspire you to play. But after meeting a few of the locals inside at the bar, we were more than excited to give this course a go. The locals immediately recognized we weren't from around these parts, and when we told them we were from New York City, they almost toppled over with excitement. It's not every day that 3 New York City golfers come to play their little muni, and it was a real highlight of the day, for them and us both. Before our round, these friendly locals insisted on buying us a 12-pack of Tall Boys Busch Lights, which, unbeknownst to us, was a local beer of choice in Nebraska. I'm guessing the proximity to Colorado had something to do with it. After our 3rd beer of the day, we were all a little tipsy, but this didn't stop Mike Palm from pulling out a miracle shot that even a sober guy would have trouble with.
We're at IronEagle right now, hole 1.
Hole 1?
Mike Palm has found himself in a bit of a pickle. Oh, dude!
Come on, how about that for out?
That's a great shot. Good work from there, brother. Ride that pony.
After 9 holes, we called it quits. 4 days in a row of 36 holes each day began to take its toll. After the 9 holes, taking a little break and getting a little lunch, it was off to the airport to drop off one of our compadres. Michael Cornell was headed to Vegas for a golf tournament, leaving Michael Palm and myself to continue on with the golfing smorgasbord. The following day, Michael Palm and I headed to a course called Heritage Hills. Long before the golfing boom hit western Nebraska, Heritage Hills was thrilling golfers with a rumple-bumple design. Not quite sand hills, but certainly hilly, the course offers golfers multiple challenges. The par 3 stood out to me with their varied length and spectacular shot value. Deft precision was necessary on most of the shots, and luckily for me, I was firing on all cylinders. Mike and I decided to take a break from the constant betting that had been occurring all the previous days and just have a relaxing day on the links. This little break allowed us both to relax and find our swings that sometimes leave us when we were grinding over every shot. I hit my best round of the trip at 1 under par, and Mike got to work on some tempo issues which helped his game tremendously the next day. Speaking of the next day, after spending the night again in North Platte, we decided we would head over to the Lake Maloney golf course. Designed by Bill Burns, it's a semi-private course just outside the city limits. The course was a real bone of contention for the locals over at IronEagle. The owner of Lake Maloney was trying to get IronEagle defunded from the city so more people would come visit his course instead. The whole scandal reminded us of the movie Roadhouse, and we just wanted to go see what old Brad Wesley had to offer. When we arrived, I was disappointed there was no monster truck in the driveway, but we were thrilled with the course. At first glance, it didn't seem like anything special, but as the round progressed, the holes became better and better. With some truly great land formations and a beautiful prairie backdrop, the members at Lake Maloney should be proud. We were able to witness a flock of pelicans passing by, which, unbeknownst to me, was a common sight for this area. This course also has a few wood carvings that enhance the charm of this wonderful establishment. Michael Palm was on fire with his game, shooting his best round of the trip, and I was just trying to keep pace. The back nine was certainly better of the two, with more of the grasslands in view, but both sides offer a challenge. For a small-time semi-private club, Lake Maloney is a home run. If you find yourself passing by North Platte for some reason, I would definitely swing on by. You can also stop by Pal's Brewing Company afterwards for some decent pizza and of course some pretty tasty microbrews. The next morning bright and early, I drove Mike to the airport as it was his turn to head home. I would be heading north on my way to the only state I had yet to play golf in, South Dakota. Before getting there, however, I still had one more course to visit on this Nebraska golf adventure. When I posted a pic on Instagram on our first day course, Augusta Wind, a fellow golfer sent me a message about a similar style course called Pelican Beach. Finding absolutely nothing listed on the course, I knew I had to find it and hopefully play it. After a long drive and a time zone change, I was in the area. Unfortunately, GPS sent me to a private ranch, not a golf course. The owner, who met me with a rifle in tow, was nice enough to point me in the right direction, and about 10 minutes later, I was at the entrance of Pelican Beach. The course, much in the same vein as Augusta Wind, was a drop box situation for the greens fees. The biggest difference was a cart waiting for my use on the side of the building. Now I knew I wasn't in New York anymore. Nope, I was smack dab in the middle of our great country, about to embark on a wild ride through the sand hills of Nebraska once again. With daylight fading, I hopped in the cart and played as quickly as I could. The course was designed by Dan Proctor, the same gentleman who helped shape Sand Hills Golf Club and the designer of Wildhorse. Here again, the great architects were giving back to the little town in the middle of nowhere. This type of generosity is why golf is so near and dear to my heart. Dan created a wonderful 9-hole routing, perfectly situated above a picturesque lake, complete with pelicans, as well as a railroad which passed by on this beautiful evening. The giant radio tower is ever looming, but also reminds you that the land around you is as vast as your imagination. The natural blowout bunkers dot the course and the surrounding landscape, creating a course that not only looks serene, but presents a stern test for first-time visitors. Once the sun went down, I got in a few extra holes with my glow ball because after a trip like this, I didn't want to stop playing. Having the course all to myself as the sun faded was a true sight to behold. A heartfelt thanks goes out to all the courses on the trip and the generous hospitality we received from all the people we met on this Nebraska golf adventure. Thank you for investing in the wonderful game of golf. We will never forget this trip and hopefully it inspires others to make the journey. From all of us at Peaceful Golf, thanks for watching.